Let's go through this machine called Startup by TryHackMe. It's a relatively straightforward Linux machine. So the IP address is 10.10.223.84. As the first step, let's make sure that we have this machine up and running. Yes, it is. Now we can start a standard Nmap scan, see which ports are open. I would assume the HTTP port will be open, so we can look at it while we're having this Nmap giving us the results. So on the web portal port, we see a standard website where there is a link for email servers. And if I go to the page source, I don't see anything interesting other than standard HTML code. Okay. Well, the initial Nmap scan shows us that FTP, SSH, and HTTP portals are open. So we can try a more comprehensive scan for these open ports 10.10.224. I used TechSC to perform a script scan, TechSV to scan the versions of the services running on the server, and I ask for 3 ports, and the results show that FTP port accepts this anonymous user login, and we are having an Apache web server on port 80. Okay. And before I go forward, I would like to also start a GoBuster analysis on IP 10.10.223.84, to see if there are any hidden directories. To cover, and it shows that we have a directory called files. Okay, let me go to this directory files. Well, it shows us that there's an FTP directory and 2 files. So my understanding is that the files directory is managed by the FTP server. So let's look at what we have on the FTP server. So it is 10.10.223.84, and anonymous as login credential, and then just hit the enter and see what commands we can run here. We can run ls, okay, important picture file, notice txt, similar to what we see here, and the FTP directory here. Okay, and if I go to this FTP directory, I don't see anything in that directory. Okay, well, let's get these. Oops. Okay, let's get these files, important.jpg file, and also the notice txt. Okay, and they should be on this directory that I opened up for that project here, important. And so look at the file command. So it's a PNG image and text file. All right, so we can get this notice. All right, so we have a statement here. I initially thought that Maya can be one of the usernames that can be of interest for us. So we will hold on to that. And we can look at the PNG file. Display. Okay. So this is really what we get from the PNG file. Okay. At this point, what we can do is we can use this access to the FTP server and upload a reverse shell and put up a listener on our local host and see if we can establish a connection. Okay. So what I will do is I will go to this directory that I'm using frequently for reverse shell generating reverse shell files. So I can go with this pentest monkey code. So this is my VPN IP port 444. So I can go copy it. I can go to the directory and create a file called reverse shell, and I can use nano to let me to paste the codes and make sure that I have. Let me do it one more time. Because I unintentionally copied twice. Okay. Paste clipboard. Make sure that I have the VPN IP 4444. Exit. Yes. Okay. Well, I need to maybe change this name to okay. I don't have to, but I thought it would be a good idea to remember the file extension I used for the reverse shell in the first place. All right. Now, what I can do is I can go back to my FTP server and see where I am now. I am on the root directory, so I can go to this FTP directory and upload the file using the put command. The file name is reverse shell PHP. Okay, transfer complete. So go back to the files of FTP and see the file uploaded. Now I have to turn on the listener on port 4444 and trigger the reverse shell file. And now I have the foothold on the target machine. So who am I here? It is www tech data, and we know that this is the least privileged user account. It's basically a service account. It will not help us a lot to achieve, but it is at least our first step to the system, right? So, well, before I go for the exploring the directories, let me see if I can upgrade the shell here, and I have Python installed, so I think the code is Python taxi bash. Okay, good. So this now I have an upgraded shell, and list down the here. Okay, so I can go to the recipe. Someone asked what our ingredient to our spice soup is today. I figured I can't keep the secret forever and told him it was love. So this word here is the answer for the first question for the secret ingredient of the soup. So it is love. So we get it. Okay. And then what other directories we have here? So let's go to the home directory. So we have user account called Lenny. And let's see if I can. And it's permission denied. So after, just for the sake of time, I don't want to take your valuable time here. And I went through the folders, the directories, and I think there's something interesting for us on the incidents directory here. Okay, so I go there and then list it down. So we have a PCAP file called suspicious PCAP file. So we need to download or get this PCAP file and run it on Wireshark. And to download the file, we need to open up an HTTP server. So for Python, the early version of Python, I guess what we can use is simple Python TryHackMe simple HTTP server command, which works on port 8000, right? Now I need to go to my directory for this project and get this, and we get comment for the PCAP file 10.10.223.84. I think it's running on port 8000. I have to show that too, and the name of the file is suspicious PCAP. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, I had this code 200. The file is transferred. So let's see. In fact, I like to see how big file is. it's not a very huge file. So what I should do at this point, I should just run the file on Wireshark. All right. So we go to the statistics and this, look at the file properties. It's 31 kilobytes of data, and the recording took almost 1.5 minutes, and 219 packets. So there's not much data in here. What I did was that I went through this. I can do that. I can filter it for HTML. I'm sorry, HTTP. And see the HTTP stream. Let me remember. Okay, there you go. Now not in here. Okay. So remember the reverse shell that we had was called rev tech shell. So here we see shell.php, and it is telling us that the attacker followed the same routine, but this is not the same shell we use because this Wireshark capture PCAP file was recorded earlier. So they injected a reverse shell, a payload, and then if I go to this TCP stream, I can follow this better. Go to that here, stream 405. Okay, so they were able to log in as the user account, the service account, and start with the ls command first, then ls tech la. So here A is to show all the files, including hidden files, and L is for long list, showing the file size and everything. Then they upgraded the shell, then tried to enter the user account as we did, but the permission was denied. Okay, and tried the sudo tag L, but that required the password for the service account, and the attacker entered this as the password, and then in second attempt they tried the same password. So using the same password more than once suggests that it is not a brute force attack. It's basically a captured credential that they are trying to use in here. So this will be useful in our analysis. Let me save it to my notes. Okay, and they continued with this etc password command, and they saw the user accounts here where it shows Lenny as the user, and you won't see Maya as I mentioned earlier, so it's not a username, user account in that box. All right, so Lenny and the password, it was trying to here see if we can have get access to the account using the known password, or the password has been tried earlier. And we know that we have SSH port open, so we can give it a try. And let me close the Wireshark files. Okay, so clear it out. So SSH using the Lenny account, and the IP address is 10.10.223.84. Yes, for fingerprint. Okay, the password I copied earlier, so paste, enter. Let me make sure that I'm copying the right password. Okay. All right, so we are able to log in as Lenny in the system. So what we have now is a SSH shell. So let's first improve it to a bash shell. So what we can do here is we can same command as we did earlier. Import. Okay, and so we are in the lane. So let's go to, sorry, let's see what we have here. And we have document scripts and user txt. So user txt is really what we have to plug in here for the second question. So cat user txt, that's the flag, user flag that we are after. Okay. Now, we have documents and scripts. So I went to the documents file, but I found the scripts file more interesting for us for our next step, which is the privilege escalation. So if I will go to the script directory, I can see that we have we have a script called planner and a txt file called startup list. And these two files are owned by the root. So we can run it, but we cannot really make changes. So we don't have permission to change it. So let's see what is inside the script. So we have this shebang line first, and then just a echo statement, and then on the third line it runs another script. So there's script inside the script, and this script is called print.sh. So let's get it out. Print. Or yeah, let's do that. Well, on this second script, we have the echo hello world statement, not really useful here. So basically this script is just a hello or done. It's just printing a string out. Well, I think we can look at the permissions, and this second script is owned by us because we are Lenny, right? So this is something we can change. Now, it is really the root, the owner root. Also, the root account runs a script called planner, and inside that script there is another script called print.sh, and that is owned by us, and we can make changes on this. Now we can again try a reverse shell. This time we can use a bash reverse shell. So let me go to this website where we can get the reverse shell codes. So if I think this, that can be a useful reverse shell for us. So I will just copy the comments. So it's again port 4444. So let me change it to different port 1234. Copy this comment and I will insert it inside this print sh script because the owner is Lenny and we can make changes on that file. We cannot make changes on the planner script. So what I will do is I will nano, let's see, okay, and I will just paste that reverse shell command, exit, save it, yes, and I need to open a listener here on 1234. Okay. And you see, before I run the script, we get the connection established. It's probably because this planner sh is executed by the root account, maybe on a periodic or on a regular basis. I haven't checked that yet, but it is the root account which executed the planner script, planner sh, and then it executed the print sh, and inside the print sh we have this reverse shell, and we were listening on port 1234, so we get this connection established. And if you look at the user, the who am I command, we are the root. And TryHackMe typically, or we can do that, we can go to the root file and see the root in root flag inside the root directory. Okay, so this is the flag that we need to complete the project. All right. Thanks for your time. See you in the next video.